Utility Committee to order. Item 1 on our agenda is comments from citizens. See no comments from citizens. We're going to move on to Public Works. You have an activity report in the packet. Any questions or comments on that activity report? Hearing none, we'll move on to streets. Street overlay update.
It's done. We're waiting. I have not seen the bill yet. I'm sure it's coming. You haven't seen it? Nope. So, but I did have a thank you from John Bliven for getting Howard Burton done. I think that there are a lot of people who are.
I had a lot of people come up and thank me for that one.
There's
very happy about Howard Burton getting paid.
If you remember, I kind of had some favorites and Phil had some favorites. We went with Phil's list, and I think it was a good choice to go with the major streets. I think those are the ones that are going to get the most improvement for the community. There are some we need to do next year, though, that aren't as major because they're really falling apart. So.
You may go look at the Jefferson Street and Lakeview's vehicles are dragging the street down there.
We put a wedge on that to take care of that for now.
Yeah, new drag marks on the asphalt. The new asphalt, there's drag marks. I was there 3 days ago.
How fast are they going when they go through there?
I don't know, but there's drag marks on the new asphalt.
Wow.
Somebody dragging something, got something really, really low.
I mean, there was
It's
not
high in the middle and there's ruts and they're dragging right in the middle of it. There's drag marks in here.
That's at Jefferson and Lakeview?
Yep.
We done with
I believe so.
sidewalk project update?
It's not going as fast as I would like. I just wanted to get it done before school started. They got caught between two projects between here and Prairie Home. They should be back before the end of the week. I'm not exactly. I didn't get a chance to talk to Don Jenkins from MECO, but the work they've done looks good. But we'll keep pushing on them to get it done. Their deadline is by MoDOT standards, first week of November, so they can't claim very many weather days, so that's a firm deadline, but it's, a couple months later than I was thinking.
Is the rail up on the wall?
No, it's not. It's not, and they do have it blocked off pretty well, but I have seen kids get past it, so. I was told that it would be here next week, 3 weeks ago. So.
Next week just haven't been.
The originally it was going to be painted maroon, so we're going to have it kind of base coat basically, and then we can paint it black. I thought it'd be nice. I haven't talked to Matt Smith, but he's kind of good senior project or something.
Yeah.
They don't paint themselves more than paint.
Any other questions on that? Any other questions? Moving on to sanitation, update for the RFP for solid waste services.
Four of the 6 of you are here, and I guess all of you are here at the end of the meeting, but officially the solid waste committee met today. We reviewed the 3 proposals, one from the city, one from TMAC of Boone County, one from Danes out of Audrain County. Martinsburg is their official address. We are going to invite Danes to make a proposal or to answer some questions on Thursday at 6 p.m. It is an open meeting because 4 of the members of the committee are aldermen, and we will be. I think there were some serious. The price per ton or the price per customer was significantly lower than the bid price from the city. So I think there's some serious consideration that that they might, of giving the contract to them, just for those who, but it is the decision, we would possibly make a decision as early as that meeting and then try to get a contract ready by the September 18th, September 19th, board meeting. And that's that.
Storm sewer. See where there was several items in your activity report where you did storm sewer work.
We've been a lot of coworks last month.
And you may have seen Midland around town, they've done all their points pretty much, except they'll do some fill-in work when they come back, and that's when they'll get the new storm sewer going in on the east side of Jefferson. So, yeah, we don't want the first one we put in to not be there, so.
They were aware of it, so I talked to them while they were out and about.
Yeah, okay, I thought I did too, but when I talked to Ethan, they hadn't.
I talked to the guys that were out and they were aware, so they knew they were gonna have to come back and get that one, but they figure there's quite a few things they've missed.
Very good. Any other under public works?
Yeah, one, on Lakeview Street,
Okay.
the school sign flashing, I think there's some branches that are down in front of it. Cleaning those up so it can be seen from driving down the road.
Heading west.
Heading west.
Okay.
Yeah. I noticed, kind of running down there.
The elementary school.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Wraps up public works, we'll move on to the electric department. Also, an activity report. Any questions or comments on that?
I've been getting some comments about the lights, the LED lights, just a little brighter.
You have been getting comments? Okay. Good ones?
Yeah, good ones. Yeah. Yeah.
Jefferson from high school.
And so
Oh, yeah.
I personally made it down Jefferson Street yet at night in front of the high school, but
It's better than
I think it's pretty bright.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Good deal. Good. We've got the light bulbs, just a matter of time to finish from the railroad tracks all the way north to Highway 22, changing those light bulbs out. We have received them.
Moving on to generation item B. under electric department. Kind of went over that already.
Yeah, we bought some capacity at the campus.
All right, good enough. Distribution, the shut-off policy.
We talked about this months ago, and it was on my list of things to do, and just didn't get done all through the summer. We have an ordinance, so I in your packet, there is the current policy with additions in bold and underlined and deletions I guess I just deleted them, I don't think I did strike through. But
On strike.
there, okay, there is, I guess that's, so, there's a couple different things. We occasionally get, our ordinance would need to be changed. We bring back, if the committee requests, bring back an ordinance for the September meeting to allow partial payments under certain conditions. Those certain conditions are things that we kind of already, well, one of them that we already did, we're going to be changing. That's when partial payments are made by charities paying to help keep somebody's light on when they have demonstrated that they have a
Bonafide need.
hardship, bona fide need, perfect, bona fide need, thank you. That's a perfect phrase. We also, sometimes people pay online electronically, and sometimes the payment comes through. It takes a little time for some of those to process. This would give us the opportunity to not shut them off if we receive 90% or more of the payment electronically. Not if you come in person, but only electronically if you submit it. Yes, people will find that out, and yes, sometimes they'll pay their bill electronically by, a secure method. And obviously, we would still have 90% of the payment, power would stay on. But there's sometimes we cannot contact them back in time to get the rest of the payment, and we have accepted the payment because it's very difficult to back that out. So this is just sort of an acknowledgement of the new technology. But 90% is a pretty high standard. And mostly, a lot of the times, that's going to be it. I think the bill was $243.51, and they put in $234.15 or something like that. But we would allow us to take, and I think I need to work on the wordsmanship, but it would allow us to take the partial payment electronically, and if they meet the 90% threshold, they would not be shut off. They would not put on the shut off. It would include penalties.
It would include penalties?
Would include the 5% penalty, but obviously there wouldn't be shut off fees if they got the time. That would require.
So you foresee somebody actually abusing that? Or not abusing it, but exploiting that?
Yeah, I'm sure somebody would. But we'd still be at 90% of the bill. So it's,
You just keep tacking it on to the next one.
well, it'd have to be 90% of the full bill.
Every time, right.
Yeah, so they'd have to be within 10% of the, so yes. But, we are accepting the penalty, the payment electronically. We could just take it, say, that we'll accept it, and then if they don't meet the full burden, then we shut them off, but sometimes there are actual legitimate errors. In person, we would expect the whole amount. Another thing that, on paragraph 12, right now we have a policy where you get an extension once in your life. I've talked with the staff, and it is probably closer to actual practice that the staff will give you a extension once in your life, and we keep track of it. They keep track of it really well, and as well as the computer can remember, the ladies who've worked there for long enough can remember even better. But it would be much easier if they would be offered the opportunity to make an extension once every year. Usually we're talking about a week or 10 days, one time per year. Anything else would require approval of extenuating circumstances of the agreement signed. Everyone in this, who handles the payments were okay with that. I think that's more reasonable. Actually, I was ahead of. And then in.
How often do you expect that you'll have those requests?
We usually get about 5 a month, 5 to 10 a month.
How many of those are repeats? Meaning that they've asked and then don't realize it's that rule?
Well, you've got something some will at least hit every year. There's probably 20 or 30 that will hit at least once a year. Then we'll have them where the last time they asked for an extension was 2007 or maybe 2012. So, and they come to me, and I usually grant it anyway. And I don't think I think I'm within a margin of error as lenient as Lynn was. I don't think that's changed. So, we're talking, and these are days. They're going to get shut off on the 25th. We extend them maybe in a week. So this would allow it to happen once a year as opposed to
Right.
once in a lifetime.
It just increases more logistic, you know, keeping track of things, that's all I was thinking.
It really wouldn't make and like I said, you're right, but the gals back there would rather just be able to do it themselves than have to track me down. You know, then it gets to whether or not they found me as opposed to whether or not it was a legitimate request. And we still can say no. If somebody owes a lot of money, we don't have any deposit on them.
Yeah, if they start making it a habit.
You're right. Right, exactly.
So you're gonna do some additional work on this and then just bring it back?
Yeah, it'd be brought back at the, with an ordinance and a policy. A couple other little things. We will, it adds specifically in the policy that we would send out electronic notices on the website and or social media when we are recognizing cold weather days. And then we currently, our ordinance says that if you get shut off twice within a year, you have to pay a double deposit. What I would like to add is if you get shut off once within a year, that you have to pay a single deposit. Because what happens is the second time they get shut off, now you've got somebody who's got a bad history. They've got usually a bad, they're having trouble handling their money at that point in their life. And now they gotta come up with an additional $300. So it would probably be easier to do 150 twice. Now you're gonna catch some people you're gonna catch the good citizen who is out of town. But you can write it so that if you have 5 years without a shut off, that we wouldn't require the first deposit. But I would like to see a single deposit after a single shut off. It actually is gonna make it easier on the people who end up getting the double deposit, because they got a $400, $400 to $600 bill. Frequently in housing conditions where the building is not set directly on the ground and they are poorly insulated. And then they've got $400 worth of utility bills and $300 worth of deposit to come up with.
Yeah.
So that's what I propose to bring back for the 19th. It may be October, since I don't know if I have a lawyer to look at it. And that's what is that comments, questions? Does that make your life any more difficult, Mark? Mike?
I'm easy to get along with.
All right.
Item B, other, step increase for electric supervisor.
In the budget last year, I budgeted for giving Mark a raise at a step increase from 6 to 7 in the middle of the year. I propose to bring that back as an ordinance to be effective the first pay period after the 19th. It has to be done that way because it's it is not the annual raise, and I think especially considering the response to this year's storm, it's even especially warranted. There's some other things that Mark and I were working on, and we've accomplished those, so I'd like to do that now. Right, at the next meeting. We have a lot of great employees who do a lot of great things with some, it's been a couple of years since he's gotten this stuff increased. How many years? 3? It's time. You can work on all.
Not since I.
It all worked out. I think that has to be voted on.
So does that need some action now, or is that on?
It would be, I would bring it, it has to be an ordinance, it has to be brought forward, I just wanted to, if I saw somebody
You're not gonna get that.
There's no lawyers.
Argue it?
argue it, then I might.
Item 2, name board of directors position.
I have been asked to serve on the MAMU Board of Directors of the Missouri Association of Municipal Utilities, which is part of MPUA. It is one of the earliest parts of the organization, and it's the part that has the government relations branch, I guess. MUDGMUC is electricity, Gas Commission is gas, natural gas. We've got water and sewer groups, and then within MUDGMUC there's the power pools. MAMU is kind of over all of them and handles just sort of general education information.
I'm impressed that you can say that without smiling. Mamu?
I can say MUDGMUC, I mean, of the two. I always
Is
thought
that
that.
a big time commitment, or is that something?
It's quarterly meeting in Columbia, in addition to the next one. And actually, one of them's at the annual meeting. I will not be there when theoretically, this has been offered, I don't know if it will happen, but it would be at the meeting that Mark's going to. I'm not going this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Robert Stevenson from Hannibal set me up. I mean, nominated me.
Yeah.
Right.
You've been on hold.
No, thank you.
All right, water and sewer department, activity report.
You had many, meter yard being run over by lawnmowers this year?
Yeah, it's been, yeah, as much mowing as went on, we've actually had quite a few more, but we're doing the first time $45, and that's what I gotta do, I gotta be consistent with everybody on that, so. Trying to stay on top of it, they don't work, they don't have a top on them, so.
All right. Well, if my son cuts mine off, I'm charging him.
You mean that piece of styrofoam on top of the whole belt?
Do I?
That piece of styrofoam, that's a lid.
He's very easily to get along with. He has a response for you.
Water and sewer.
It's, page, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, there's a bid request that came in. That's handed out,
Oh, are you ready for that?
I guess.
I realized today I was running low on copper, and so I went ahead and got quotes just from our two normal vendors. I see that water and sewer is the lowest supply, or $2.19 a foot. I'd like to go ahead and get that. I definitely need to go ahead and get some coming, that's for sure. But
They're both under $1,250. Oh, that's per, yeah, that's total, yeah, it's both under $1,250.
I just wanted to let everybody know that I definitely need some, so. A lot of these, like out at Lockport, where we're gonna be doing two at the same time going across the road, I'm using a full row every time we do that, so I'll probably be doing this again later on, but this will get me for a while. And that's a good price, that's lower than I've had in quite a while, so.
You want to save the
Are you
actual?
bored under the road?
We had to today, kind of unexpectedly because of the way the service was run, so. I'm trying to be nice. Keep my room good.
It might be that at some point, maybe during the comprehensive plan review, we look at how we coordinate with builders so that we know when to kind of set up where we're gonna put a meter jar. Because if we make an assumption, sometimes builders talk to their especially if they're building a custom home, home buyer will want it in a certain way, and then they'll go put the the driveway and set the house up in such a way that either water lines and sewer lines are running under driveways or some other kind of crazy stuff, so.
Yeah, these cul-de-sacs are killing us, and the way they're set up. I'm having a hard time getting the meter in the property, even if I'm just barely on the property. I'm still having trouble having enough room to do it. A lot for something like this, you really narrow it yourself with what you can do, so. The problem we run into, a lot of these have already been run. We did those ones underneath the street, so they can go ahead and do their street work and everything. And that's what we're running into. Those are the ones that we're not flip-flopping the plans, and but it ends up right in the drive. And I've got two that are gonna be in the drive right now. There's nowhere to go with them. I can't put it on the neighbors.
Well, they won't run over them with the lawnmower.
There you go.
Did it skin with snowplow.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Realtors love cul-de-sacs, homeowners frequently love cul-de-sacs. These guys, not James, but the rest of the guys in the front row, typically don't like cul-de-sacs. Why do you like to get your trash, your fire engine into a cul-de-sac? So, anyway.
But I'll probably go with water and sewer, as you see, with the lower bid there, get that going, if that works.
Would you like an official?
I don't, it is under that, I just want to let everybody know it's up there, it's kind of last minute, but I've got to get some coming.
Moving on, water, the aerator replacement update.
In the packet, you have, the first page is the installation bid that we got. These are all single bids because back in the spring, when we were working with John Kramer, the assumption was this was an emergency. We have managed to continue operating the water plant with the aerator working at less than maximum efficiency. The new one is sitting ready to go in. We figured it was not a good idea to do it when at the peak water usage times, but we're getting ready. So I've been talking with John. We're going to look at bidding out at least the parts. We're going to have the gentleman, Mike Jordan from Hegeman, no, not the basketball player, come and take a look at the. It may be that for that there may be an argument for a sole source on the installation, but if not, we will bid everything. So those are basically just a somewhere in this neighborhood price. The installation, when you add all those together, comes to pretty much close to the price of a $50,000 area. So.
For my own benefit, Mike, can you tell me in the water treatment process what the aerator does for us?
Aerator is the first process coming from the well. It goes up through that, it takes the iron and manganese, breaks it down, and it takes any odor that could be in there. All it is baffles, pumps it up through these screens, goes up through it, and then back down. That's its only purpose, but it's pretty important. You don't have the rotten egg smell from hydrogen sulfide. And it does take that iron and manganese, breaks that down, so that by the time it gets into the treated basins, you don't have to worry about the line will override it plus your chlorine. So.
The addition of the additional actually helps precipitate out the iron inside it.
Okay.
I'll probably get the chemistry wrong, but that's generally the idea. And the sulfur compounds, etc. So that's just a report. There's no motion, there's no, I'm not asking you to approve those costs at this point. It's just sort of for your information, and when we do see the final total price, that nobody falls out of their chair.
And I saw there on that first thing that it's a 24-hour removal and reinstallation.
Be fantastic with that. I'm gonna knock that other one out of the way, basically just cut the bolts, get them out of there, and have the other one valved up and ready to go. Once the valve's in place, they can do whatever.
And
I can actually run it into the basin without going through the aerator for a little bit, and keep the water moving. But yeah, if we can do it one day, that'd be great.
We are done with that. I'm done with
Adams City Sewer, DNR response to recent visit.
that. We've completed our response and sent it in after their most recent visit.
They'll be having their recommendations of what they think we need to do. There's gonna be a few things I know coming. We gotta get some brush down off the berms in the lagoon. We kinda knew that coming in, but it's been so wet, we can't get down on the edge and really work on it. So that'll be a wintertime project that would knock a lot of that out.
And there was a lot of discussion of, I can't remember which month now, September of 2013, we submitted a application to renew our permit. It is still under consideration, but with this last visit, they gave us some hints as to what might happen with that permit, and we may want to amend the permit to specifically ask for permission for the farmers, with certain conditions met, to irrigate at night. This causes the Department of Natural Resources no small amount of worry, but farmers know that there are ways to keep track of the pivots that there didn't used to be in the past, not to mention the fact that a farmer being up all night is not an unusual event. So what they're worried about is that a pivot gets stuck, water pours into one spot, it rolls off, and the tertiary treated sanitary sewer water would pool and run off into a stream. It's supposed to be treated by percolating through the soil. But I think we have an adequate response. We may have to amend our application or something like that, but we're hoping to get 2013, 2016 is still under review. But Mike,
I think we've got a meeting set up. I'm just waiting for the date to be finalized. I'm gonna let them do their response and recommendations back, and then at that time, we'll go up and meet them. I can kind of talk over what we've sent into them, the reasons why. I mean, farmers have a short window of time to get that water on. I mean, June to July, you never can tell what the weather's gonna be in there. So they have to get it on as much as possible. They have alarm systems on their phone to run these pivots. They can sit here right now and start and stop them as they needed. I mean, it's pretty sophisticated to do. So I think we've got everything in place. It's just a matter of convincing them fully that everything we're doing is legit. They wanted to, at one point, anytime they were running at night, we would have to have a certified operator out there, which I could have our farmers take the test and pass it hands down. That wouldn't be an option. But it's kind of silly for us to get up and drive out there and see a pivot spraying water's barely moving as it goes. Even money, I don't think I want to get up every night and get it.
yeah,
At
with
least
a
on a
4-person
2-hour
crew,
schedule.
and yeah. Mike has been both a great diplomat and worked hard putting that together. So,
Do you feel that the DNR is in favor of our system?
They have sent towns right and left, them and Missouri Water both, have sent towns just to see our system, because it's been in progress since 1985.
I think both Mike personally and the system have been given awards at the state
Yeah,
level.
so, yeah, they send people all the time, and they want us to show them around, talk to the farmers, which Jeff Sims, Bob Benoit are fantastic.
Yeah.
Explain their end of it. We can explain ours, they see how it works. There's been several people that have came and have since put it in there, so I pointed that out to them a couple times, just to make sure they know.
Yeah.
You can't brag on us and slap us at the same time.
The city of Sturgeon is modeling their system after ours.
and many others, but, and we have Al Figley and my predecessor Lynn Behrens and Mike and yes, your predecessor have built a public-private partnership that keeps our sewer rates at a level. When I show them to other people, their jaw dropping a little. Now, we're gonna have to raise them a little bit to cover some, we're gonna have some capital costs, but we could double it. JC, who was here, I was telling him what our rates were. He said that we could double it and still be competitive. I'm not suggesting we do that. I'm not suggesting we do that. There's no chance- But that's how good this system works for the citizens of Centralia, thanks to the operational part.
Very good.
Would you see what he got?
Other,
Make sure you don't take
I don't have anything else.
anybody else? Any other under public works, public utilities? Any as may arise?
I make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
Second.
A motion and a second to adjourn, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?